oh man, is it raining. Gosh darn, just as I got back home. Well, looks like I need to find ideas for a new video, let alone a build. But I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I guess I can just go gather materials for the time being. Well, let's see what we got going on here. Wait. Where's my calcite at? Do I actually have 0 calcite? Nah, hold on. I gotta go check. I actually have no calcite now. Oh, hold on. It's really like one of my favorite blocks. I always have to have that in the build. I just keep calcite here. Yeah, I have no calcite. Oh, maybe they're selling some? Let's go take a look. Nope, no calcite here. I don't want to mine for calcite, and yeah, I'm not really into buying it right now, because no one else is selling it. Wait a second. There was a time when Ruby, a member of Patchworks and our leader, TP'd me to this area, and it was a mountain full of calcite. I just gotta find those cords somewhere, and then we can head on over, and we're gonna be getting ourselves some nice building blocks that we could potentially use in our future build. Let's do it. Hey guys, I'm reporting to you live from the Daily Dougal base, and yeah, I'm not going to make y'all watch me mine calcite for 20 years in a time-lapse. So, yeah, we've gotten the calcite, and we are getting other building blocks as we speak, and we are going to get stuff ready for our future build. However, we have a couple of things we have to look into. So, let's just roll the tape. Yeah. So not only did the video audio not record, I managed to ban myself from Aviscraft, believe it or not. It had something to do with the client I was using, Sodium, and basically the version I was on for some reason bugged out and I wasn't able to join. So I tried running a default client, that worked, however I could not play without my mods. So I got a different version of Sodium that thankfully worked with all the mods I have, and yeah, I was able to start playing again. Thank God, otherwise that would have been very bad. The fact that I managed to permanently ban myself from Avis is honestly pretty amazing. I don't know how I've done that, but I might be the first ever person to do that. Anyways, here, I'll just show y'all the gold farm. This is the amazing Patrick's Gold Farm, which was the first ever farm I built on the server. As you saw in the previous clip, I was attempting to improve the farm because it was too powerful and overflows. So let's briefly go through what I added. Since we have an overflow problem, I decided to make some redstone clocks that will shoot out the items rapid fire into a cylinder chamber in which the items are distributed. So here we have the dukes, in which they put all the items, mostly the golden nuggets, into a chest in which they are filtered with an item filter. And then those gold nuggets are then turned to gold ingots, and then they are then put into our system. Those gold ingots are then shot through this dropper, and then they go into this piston system in which they use slime blocks to push them through. And then, of course, we need to be able to detect when the items come through, so we have these nice little tripwires here that detect when the items come on through, and then they get pushed by these slime blocks. This also isn't just a gold farm. The gold farm is connected to a piglin bartering farm, in which the gold ingots are automatically distributed to the piglins. Now, since we can't use water in the nether, we need to use a portal to transport the bartered items into an item sorter. After using the same method used to transport the items of slime blocks, the items are then shot through this portal and transported into a constant circle item filter. We also use enderpearl chunk loaders because we only want to have one account running the entire system. Lastly, here's a nice overview of the entire item sorter. The amazing thing about how the entirety of the system works is that it only needs to be ran by one account. Someone just needs the AFK atop the gold farm, and the rest will be taken care of. That's it for Ritz's Farmonomics. Now, before we get into the next part of the video, we need to figure out who are Daily Dougal. Daily Dougal consists of 5 members: Samosa, Ghost, Sammy, Ducklord, and LND. These 5 are responsible for daily news on the server. However, they happen to worship a weird god named Doog or whatever. To not go too much into detail, let's use one word to describe each member. Wi-Fi, Ghost, Builder, Work, and Among. Oh, and if you guys want to see their lore, here it is. Now, it's time to troll them. We have just one last thing we gotta do. There's something about Minecraft that makes it so special to me. It's a culmination of the endless possibilities and memories I've made for years and years along the way. Even after playing for so long, I still find enjoyment in this game. For a while, I had been on break from Minecraft, while only returning to play once a year. However, this changed when I found Supernova, and now, I'm learning to create my own masterpiece. I think it's finally time we get to it. Man, there is something seriously wrong with people. Well, anyways, guys, we are finally done with the build, and yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all, it took a long, long time. Uh, well, the whole process, basically, I was playing out all my builds in creative, and it took probably around 40 to 60 hours to actually plan out and build the build in creative, and building in survival took maybe about half the time, so it wasn't that bad, but it was still a pretty significant process, and especially working on this video too. Like, this video has taken a long time to edit, even though it's not even going to be that long. Yeah, it's all process, but so far I'm happy with how things have went, so I guess I might as well just reveal the build now. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Yes, here we are. This is my cove. Um, So yeah, it's meant to be viewed from far away. So basically, whenever you're leaving the ocean, which the ocean's just over that area, and it sort of comes down to this area, and then you have this river that comes down to this lake. Basically, whenever you're moving across, or maybe you're just chilling over here, or maybe you're like Zero and you're over at that area, which is Zero's base, you get this nice little faraway view of this cliff. And I wanted to do a very rough cliff, and I was basing it off this inspiration, which I'll show y'all. And basically, it's very rough, and it has a lot of off-white to it, but also has a lot of white to it. And it also has some greenery mixed into it with a lot of grass growing on this area, because this area is the cliffside, right? So it's going to be very wet, and it's going to have, vegetation growing on it as well. We can sort of zoom in here, and you can kind of see the colors I did. So obviously we have the bone blocks and the sandstone, or the smooth sandstone. And then we have this grass growing with this, dirt you can see coming out. Same thing over here. And then, of course, with these darker blocks, you can see I use that as shadows to make it seem that there's more depth to the cliff going on. And I thought, it really achieves that effect very simply, but also very well. So you don't have to, like, actually make it very deep inside the cliff. I think it just gives us that a very good effect, considering this is supposed to be viewed from far away, not necessarily up close. And then, of course, we have a cave, which I had to use torches in there because I do have a mob spawning problem right now that I have to figure out. But yeah, let's just fly over. So there actually is some close-up detail that we can see. It's not just always meant to be viewed from far away. There is some close-up detail. So we can just land right here. I am trying to fix the bottom of this, so don't worry about this. Still a work in progress. Also, we just have like 4 turtles chilling here. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm gonna fix this up eventually. Same thing like over here and all that. It's gonna be fixed eventually, so still a work in progress, but as you can see, we do have depth to this area. There are walls here. There are little cracks and crevices in this area. If we go up here, we can see other little cracks like this in the walls. Very cool. Also, you just heard a zombie. Yeah, I forgot to torch the inside of this again. So there's that. But you can kind of see there actually is detail to this. Very close-up detail that you can see. I mean, you can even see this nice little area over here as well. It's very detailed. But it is meant to be viewed from far away, because that's where it expresses this build much better, in my opinion. And then, of course, I wanted to add a cave, because, well, caves are pretty cool. I don't really make them that much, so I kind of wanted to do a cave like this, because the cave I was seeing, which I'll also put up on the screen, they all had this sort of very, like, I guess, orangey, reddish, like, feel to them. And that just seems to be how they are always made. Right here, I used a huge array of colors because there are a lot of blocks that are very similar in color, actually. And I want to do a mix of noisy and smooth because, from the most part, I've actually been in a cave before, too. That's kind of how it is. It's sort of very smooth in a lot of areas, and then it's also very rough and noisy in a lot of areas, too. And that's kind of what I wanted to do here. So you have this very smooth area, like, for instance, terracotta representing it, or light gray terracotta. Mushroom blocks as well, it's, slightly noisy. And then it gets more noisy if, stuff like the rooted dirt, or the granite, or the mud block, or, something like that. And of course, with the staglamites, and stuff like that as well. Very cool. And then, of course, through this cave, I thought there was a block missing. There's actually an enderman that's going loose in here somewhere. Yep, right there. I see him. This freaking evil guy, bro. He's placing blocks everywhere and taking them. Stop him, man. But, yeah, we go through this cave and make it to the other side, and before we look around here, I'm just gonna, look down, and then I'm just gonna fly over, because I want you guys to see how it's actually supposed to be presented. So basically, you're walking across my path here, and you have this nice little area, and then boom. It gets into a much wider open area. You can sort of see the hints of civilization, as you can see the chimney of my house, the beat-up's house. And you go over this nice little broken up bridge. And what are... Alright, first of all, I'm just gonna ignore you. What are you doing in here, man? Come on, bro. How'd you even get here? I don't even have a nether portal nearby. How is this even possible? It must have been struck by lightning or something. That's just crazy. Also, you are not gonna ruin my video, man. Get out of there. Yeah, so anyways, we come across here, and I guess the first thing you're gonna see is I extended this area. So I used the mangrove leaves because those kind of are more wet in sort of color because it's very, very dark green. And I wanted to represent that this area is very wet, and as you can see here, we have water going on. Ignore the underside of it. I'm still working on that, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get a fog effect going. But we have this nice little wet area over here, and we're just gonna go in the water here. Whenever you're passing by, in case you want to maybe park your boat up here, come into the river. We have this nice little river coming down here that I made out of glass. Still does need a little bit of improvement, but for the most part, I do like how it looks. I could probably add some like candles or cobwebs to this to make it even cooler, or maybe darker glass planes for the white area. But yeah, the white represents sort of the water splashing, you know, that like foam effect you get when water runs down an area. I really like this a lot. Definitely a work in progress, but for the most part, I am liking where it's going. So yeah, that's kind of the area I was working on here. And before we go up there, we're going to check out this area over here. So I probably, or not, well, I was going to say originally put a sign. I probably am going to put a sign right here. You know, those like walkways you go through, like when you're hiking, they have like signs leading to different roads. Something like that could be pretty cool because this also splits off into this nice little pathway here, and then you have the way to go up to the actual homes. So I think something like that would be pretty nice. But yeah, let's make our way down this pathway here. Also, I just heard another freaking Enderman. He's probably under this thing somehow. Yeah, I really got to torch the area up. But yeah, so we have the use of nice little flower beds here. Looks very, very nice. It brings out the color a little bit. We have a dried out area here. What are these called? The firefly bushes. They mix very well with the sort of dried out area, and I like how it looks. And you have this greenery to sort of support this area too, so it blends in very nice, especially with this green up here. I really like this a lot because it also pops out and it gives this nice little lighting you can see at night. And before we keep going on, I am going to sleep so we don't have any mob spawning here because that is a huge issue right now. So let's do that real quick. Early in the morning, can hardly see a thing. Just like how it is IRL. That's pretty cool though, I'm not gonna lie. I really like this fog it gives off here in the water too. I really like living by the lake, man. This is so cool. I picked a nice spot. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, this area pops out a bit. I really like this. Very nice when you're passing by. You can start to see this little cool area. I do like the glow with the glow berries here. I'm probably going to try to get a few more on these ones too, so it's all kind of consistent. And yeah, we also have some colors here, like the blue and green here, as you can see. You can see this green on here, along with the blue. It blends in very, very well with this green because green and blue are cool colors, so they complement each other. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. And then we want some contrast as well to pop out. So, of course, we have this nice little wheat field, which has holes in it because a freaking traitor and his llama were over here messing stuff up. And I did not place that, by the way. That was a freaking Enderman, which you can see right here. So these guys are very annoying. They're trying to grief my stuff. I don't like it. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll definitely deal with it. But yeah, I really like this wheat field. It pops out very nicely. Definitely contrasts very well with this area. We have the spruce trees, of course, growing here. This is a younger one. And we also have a bit of older ones around here. We have some fallen leaves behind it, dried out leaves, because, I mean, it's very realistic. They're next to bushes that we have here as well. They look very, very cool. I tried a very unique design of them, putting bushes on the actual bushes that I'm making. I thought that was kind of interesting. More blue over here. We actually have my favorite flower, which I think it's like the Zur blue or something. I forgot what this thing's called. I'm not even gonna lie. But it looks very, very nice. I mean, it pops out so well here. And it contrasts very nicely as well with the wheat here as well. I keep saying as well, I don't know why. But yeah, I like this area. I like the flower beds. I like this deeper turquoise green we got going on. Some more firefly bush action. And then finally, we get to this area, which is going to be very nice to talk about. We have another flower bed here, help this area pop out again. I like it a lot. And then finally, we make it to here. So, in the past, I was roasted for not making enough homes by a certain homeless person themselves. I'm not going to say who. You know who you are, and you're watching this video. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make an abandoned home, area, because I made this, little circle around this little cliff that I was doing. And I was like, I might as well put something in here instead of just like rocks or something. Like, I wanted to pop out. So I was like, I'm gonna do abandoned shack. And I looked it up online, like I looked up abandoned shacks online or something similar, and I came up with this inspiration. I'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, basically, this is sort of what I came up with. So the gradient I used was white concrete, the mushroom block, or the mushroom block, not mushroom. And then was this the birch wood, and then the bamboo plank or log. I forgot which one that is. But the yellow, so the reason why it goes to yellow is because the wood is rotting and it's getting very old and it's peeling off, and that's kind of what it turns into, a very yellow gradient. So we have the white concrete going into this mushroom block, and then it turns slightly yellow, but also keeps that off white with this not spruce block, birch wood plank, and then it goes into this very deep contrasting yellow with the bamboo here. So that was kind of what I was going for as well. And yeah, I really like this area. Like, we have this nice little flower bed to pop out. We have the stones on the ground. Nice little pathway. And then if y'all noticed, there is a freaking tree growing out of the homeless shack here, the abandoned shack. I thought this was super cool. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this very, very unique. We're gonna have a freaking tree growing out of it because, why not? Why not? We can take a look at the backyard here. So it's a nice little grass area. We have nice little stones. We have some fallen leaves from the tree as well that kind of came down onto here. I think this looks pretty cool. Of course, we have these glow berries again. I really like these. Definitely want to build with them more. They're very, very awesome. I love how they look. And then I guess we might as well just take a look at the interior. So yeah, I didn't really know what to put for interior. Like, I was definitely gonna put like crafting tables or something, but I was like, I don't really know how to do that with this kind of very small interior, and it's very, very, there's a lot of colors going on, so I didn't really know how to incorporate that, but I did have interior. We do have interior here. So we have cobwebs, we have grass and leaves and moss coming through along with vines, sort of part of that, sort of it's overgrowing, wildlife is taking over the shack here. On the ground, we can see that areas are very, very dark, meaning they're very, very weathered, and that potentially the roots of our tree have caused this. And this is why it's getting so, I guess, mossy, and the ground sort of corrupting or, weathering, and, etc. And we have this tree growing out of the entire shack. For some reason, a tree managed to find its way to sunlight. And then, of course, we have the leaves here because it's a tree, so dead leaves are always going to be near it. Same thing up here. This is actually a tree branch that's grown through the ground here. It's caused these holes in the floor. We have more weathering going on because of this tree trying to grow onto the floor here. And then we have some hanging moss, vines, a part of the window that used to be here. And then, of course, blocks that fell out because this area broke down. And then up top, we have cobwebs, the pale hanging moss. And then we have this hanging roots, which I didn't even know were a thing until I actually started building creative. Like, one of the projects I did for the Aviscraft team, I didn't even realize you could get this in survival. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to incorporate that because it fits very well with the granite. So I used that, and then of course we have cobwebs. Yeah, I really like this area. Looks very, very nice. So now we can finally make our way up the pathway. Let's do it. So this rock area. Let's get to this elephant in the room. So this is also based on the first inspiration I showed y'all. It's more of the left side and the bottom. So they had this huge like rock, like sedimentary rock or something. I'm not sure what to call it. Sort of out of the ground in the water, and there's grass growing around it. This reiterates and emphasizes the idea that, again, there was a lot of water here in this area, and it's, very wet, and there's vegetation and grass growing, and there's just a lot of wildlife here. So I like to do that. And then, of course, we have that same shadow effect with these edges here. I think it looks really cool. You can also see it from far away when we have more stuff over here. You're able to see all this crap. And it's going to be very, very nice. More detailing, of course. We have, like, slabs and other stuff going on here. Just to give it some perspective. Looks very, very nice. And then here we have the frame, or the future frame that we're going to have here. We're going to have more vegetation on the sides. Ignore these shulker boxes as well. We will have a nice little frame here that you're going to see. You're going to have the shed on the side here, and then you're going to have beat up stone right here, and then we'll have some more vegetation on the sides to sort of frame this perfectly. Maybe another tree you can put right here, and that will be our first ever frame. Once someone that's walking this path finally makes it all the way up, they're going to be greeted with this absolute amazing, sort of framed picture that they're going to see. And I think that'll look very, very neat. So they'll continue to make their way across here, and then of course we'll have nice little bushes, these spruce trees that are growing, and then we have something like this. This also reiterates the idea that there was water here. It's very, very weird at the bottom. There's a lot of mossy going on, like mossy stuff, like the cobblestone and then the moss itself, well, with the grass. Showing that there maybe used to be a pond here or some form of water that got caught into this area. So again, just reiterating that idea. And then I will continue to make this pathway. Just stop here because it's kind of the area I'm stopping at. This kind of area. So yeah, I didn't really continue with that, but it's fine. I'll eventually work my way there. And then, of course, we have this area up top on the little cliff that we have. Now, I didn't really know what to put here, so I kind of just threw in, like, stones and grass to sort of fill in the dead space. So I want you guys to maybe give suggestions on this area. If you do want something here, like, would it make sense to see sort of more action in this area? Maybe, like, a building up here or something that can kind of get, like, an overview of this area you can watch out, I don't know. Just give me some suggestions if you guys want to. If not, that's fine, because I'll probably keep it like this for a bit. Over here, we also try to be very realistic. We have some dead leaves on this side here because we have the spruce tree, and the leaves will come off it every like winter or so, or whatever its cycle is for when it's leaves. We're gonna lose its leaves. I'm not sure if it's evergreen or not. I don't know. But yeah, you have the leaves here on the side because they come off the tree. So I try to be very realistic in my builds, and I try to keep a very, very sort of naturalistic feel going forward. So that's kind of what I had in mind for this area. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the build. It took a long, long time to do, but I mean, it's definitely well worth it. I mean, this area looks extremely beautiful now. Like, I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing. So I am very, very happy with how the results have been. I mean, just look how developed this area has been. We continue to go forward. We'll actually begin working soon on the main area because we finally made it here. We finally made it to the area I actually live in. So we can start building in this area. And yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty beautiful. And then we will branch outward. We will go out here soon and begin working here. And then we will have the mega project, which will be somewhere farther down that way. Also, let's sleep real quick, since it's almost about to hit night, and then we'll continue on, and we'll be finishing things out. So yeah, like I said, 3 more steps that are eventually going to come. We'll have this area over there, and then the mega build project, which will be very, very cool. Now, this is where you guys come in, and you get to be even more involved. This also includes you, new viewers, not just the community. You guys get to decide what my next video will be on Aviscraft. So you guys get to choose. I think it's 4 options I'm going to do. It's either going to be a quiz or a poll. You guys will choose if I get to work on this area first, so sort of the main area I live in. The next area, which is going to be right after, I guess like here. So, right, you pass this, and then it's going to be all over here. Or the Mega Build project, which will be farther out that way. And these will all be a separate video, so just to reiterate, this will be 1 video. That'll be 1 video, and then the Mega Build project will be 1 video. Or your 4th option will be this area and this area combined, but not the Mega Build. So this will be this area plus that area will be 1 video, and then the Mega Build project would be 1 video. That's your 4th option. So I'm going to reiterate 1 more time so people aren't confused. First option is this area as a video. Second option is that area as a video. Third option is the Mega Build project as a video. And the 4th option is these 2 areas, this one and this one, as a video. And then later on, the Mega Build project will be its own video. So you guys get to decide that. I will have a quiz or poll at the end of this video, and you can decide. And yeah, I want to get you guys more involved, because at the end of the day, you guys are along with the journey over here as I continue to work on my masterpiece and become a better builder. Because I'm gonna be real, I'm definitely not a builder. When I originally started Minecraft, I was more of a PvPer, just to hang out with my friends, maybe do some survival let's plays or something, have some fun, pretty much. That was it, I've never really been good at building. Usually I would just copy stuff off the internet, and that'd be my house, and that was it. I wouldn't even terraform. So this has all been very, very new for me, and I've played this game for over 15 years, so yeah, it's definitely something. So I'm just gonna continue to get better at building, and you guys are along for the journey on this SMP. And speaking of this SMP, I do have to shout out and give thanks to a lot of people on the server. So first of all, I want to give thanks to people on the Aviscraft server. Sorry, I can't speak today for some reason. So first person I want to shout out is Sammy. Sammy drives a lot of the inspiration for my builds. It gives me a lot of motivation just seeing his work. Same thing with Jedi. Same thing with Mickey. Same thing with a few other builders. They just keep me very motivated because just seeing their builds and like what they can do, it's just like, oh my goodness, I want to go out there and do what they're doing as well. So it just continues to motivate me to build. And also Underwatchers too. Underwatchers, their base is literally right over there, that Tung Sahur. As you can see, they are, working on a lot of stuff. These guys are insane. I love their builds too. It keeps me very motivated. So I want to shout those people out as well. Another people I want to shout out is people in Supernova, which is our main server. I do want to shout out all the people in there, the community. Is very amazing. And they're just all like very unique people. Like they've kept me motivated and to be able to play on the server and other servers they have as well, because they're very awesome. Definitely a very unique community. I joined January, if you're new watching, and I met these people on some it was like you know what like bumping is on Discord. That's basically where I found them from, and ever since January, I've stayed active in the server because that's really how good of a community they are. So if you are a new person watching and you do want to join this server, or you want to join one of the other servers we have, or a third server that's coming called Freelands, you can see that in the description, and you can come hang out with us. Like I said before, and I keep saying it, very awesome people, very cool community. You can create your own story, create your own lore on here. You can create your own builds on here, whatever you want to do. It's completely up to you. Possibilities are endless, basically. Yeah, you can come hang out with us. I'm usually always in a VC, so you always see me on as well. Yeah, that's, pretty much it for today's video. That's pretty much it, yeah. So, I guess where I tell you guys to like, subscribe, and comment, because, it really means a lot to me. Obviously, you guys don't have to, that's just me saying that. But, it really means a lot to me, guys. The support you give, just watching the video, literally that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And I also have to ask you guys for just one more thing. I do like suggestions for these videos, so if you would like to suggest something or critique me or give me criticism, that is very, very much appreciated as well, along with your support, of course. So yeah, I appreciate the support, guys. It means more to me than you think. And just, guys watching the videos, it just means so much to me. And then, like I said before, give me suggestions, give me criticism, tell me something I can do better, or, keep up the great work, blah, blah, I don't really care. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Let's see, what's on today's channel? Not really interested in that. Okay, next. This is alright, but let's see what else we got. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a fucking banger.